All right, good morning, everybody. It is MarketChameleon.com. I'm Adam. That's Will over there. Yes, I got it the right way. Look at that. I got that the right way, man. So I think that's the
Hello,
first
chameleons.
time ever. Good morning. We're here to give you some ideas for your trading day. Before we get into it, remember, trading of any kind, option trading, is inherently risky. So this is just ideas, people. We're not telling you what to do, but Will does have some really good ideas. Right, brother? What do you got today for us, man?
Really good ideas. Is that what we're saying?
Will's like, I don't have any ideas. I don't know what's going on. How about we
Well,
look to the past a little bit about what we've been talking about the last couple of days, man? I see a lot of green up there.
There is. As we were talking about the
take
mood.
my head away look along the top there, everybody, just in case you all don't know. On the Chameleon, stocks you've looked at in the past all start showing up along that ticker along the top. And so that's why I'm saying you see a lot of green happening.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, I mean, we talked about China a little bit previous weeks. To me, it looks like it's. I mean, look at Baba's up 6% this morning. Actually, it's 3% this morning. That was yesterday. These Chinese stocks have looked like they found a proverbial bottom. This was a watch list I created a couple of weeks ago because I was thinking about putting money to work in China, a lot like we did with Turkey months ago. There's so much rhetoric with this trade war and their economy slowing and money supply over there. And it was off more than 20% in a lot of the markets. So you can see I added these things early October. Since added, these have been the moves. This is an index is up 6%. Alibaba is up 6%. Excuse me, that index is up 9%.
Yep.
Baidu's been up 1.7%, but yesterday it was up 6%. JD Uniface. And you look at all the stocks, they've got a long way to go to get back to where they were. So I still think there's some opportunities there. Mm-hmm. I just looked at an Alibaba. I was just playing around with the strategy payout. So I put together one of these risk reversals where I was going to take in a credit and get long out in January. We're going to add that to the watch list, see how it performs. But you're going to take in an almost 60-cent credit, getting long the stock.
Right.
Or getting long the movement of the stock. Your risk is, remember, you're going to be short this 25 delta put, the 135 put. So that would put you to the stock at 135. So you would want to make sure that if this stock goes down and the thesis or idea is wrong, that you can actually acquire the stock, or you'll just take the loss and roll out of the put.
Yep.
Either way, if you got long the stock here you'd have to, pay $157, or you could just buy the call if you wanted to take advantage of the upside. But I'm going to add that to the watch list. Mm-hmm. You have any thoughts on China?
Man. My thoughts are risky, man. It's just risky, dude. That's all. I mean, trade wars back and forth. Who knows? Am I a long-term buyer of China?
You buy your iPhone, don't you?
Dude, I buy my iPhone. You know what I'm a buyer of? I'm a buyer of free people, free market capitalism. That's what I'm a buyer of. So I am always very hesitant to love a market controlled by people, a few people, rather than a bunch of free people. Give me free people any day, and twice on Sunday, man.
All right. So you were short China coming in.
I'm not saying that. Look, man. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, man. But still, my money is still on two guys in a garage. That's where my money goes.
Well, listen, the Chinese have always been a very entrepreneurial people. I mean, they've moved across the world to start small businesses, small shops, real businesses. Small businesses that turned into large corporations.
Dude, people naturally. What do you think? I'm saying Chinese aren't industrious, man? Come on, man. Are you really?
No, I'm
really.
I'm just.
I'm saying people are industrious. All people. There are no people who aren't industrious. They're crushed by governments, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if that government gets
got
out of the
you.
way and lets industrious people, the industrious Chinese, be industrious, China's got a great road ahead. If
Well,
they
that's
don't and they try to control everything, then we're looking at not a great thing. That's all I'm saying, man.
well,
I'm a full
that's what
believer in free people.
that's what they've done for the last 20 years is
Yep.
allow their people, but they've done it under a, a communist single leader structure. You know,
Right.
there's no elections. You don't have any involvement unless you're involved in the party, in how things are run. But they've let certain sections of the economy run free,
Right.
and so you're right though. There is political and structural risk to that system that may at some point really affect the market. But the word on the street, obviously, in the flow of money, is that Trump's, and this was mentioned this morning in the news, that Trump's having his negotiators draw up plans for a trade agreement. So there you go.
So you think they're trying to get it done, get the deal done, move on?
Yeah, I think
friends again.
I think it could be something before the election, but I think that happens. You know, I would think a lot of these stocks, see new highs. I mean, it's all sails lifted and ships off.
We'll see.
So take a
By
look.
the way,
at them,
have you ever heard my theory for the new wall? That, everybody talks about the wall in the U.S. What the wall should be. Have you
not
looked at the
heard.
wall? Do we want to get into the wall talk here on the morning options show? But dude,
No,
this is my idea for the wall. I'm going to put it out there in 5 seconds. The wall should be like the wall in China, where it's a tourist attraction, man. Like 100 yards wide, you can run 5Ks on it. A great place to visit with the kids. That I think I can get behind.
The great American Wall.
Exactly, visible from space. It's not a negative; it's a positive. It's a place you go with your kids. That's
and maybe you sell it. How about this? You sell its shape to the highest bidder, so it could spell out like Chevron or Apple from space. I love that idea.
Love it, dude.
Should we leave the morning YouTube on that note and come back to the screeners I did and the opportunities?
One more tip, man. We haven't given them enough here, man. Before we pop up.
So I did a search for both the bullish and bearish. I'll show the bullish here. The block trade screener. Mm-hmm. I used I've set up a filter for it, but I'm doing a bullish here. So I chose a trade quantity over 1,000. The trade quantity versus open interest, I want the quantity to be greater than the open interest of the line. The notional value above 100,000. I want the trade to take place on the offer or above the offer. So if someone was so anxious to get that call, they actually paid above where it was being offered in the market at the time.
Right.
Obviously, I want it to be a call because they're planning on the stock moving higher. And I want it to be common stock, more so than an ETF or MLP or REIT, which are a lot of baskets. Well, I could look at REITs and MLPs as well.
Let's stick with common though, because
I wanted the common.
Yeah.
I want to see a trade where someone has obviously done some research to put that type of money at risk. And I came up. What started with about 60 or 58,000 total entries came down to 18. And then I went through and I wanted either an auto execution or a straight trade or an intermarket sweep.
Yeah, Baba's right there. I see Baba right there on the list.
Yep. Ooh, I didn't look at you, Baba. Love Baba. That was part of a spread.
Right.
But it was this MU was the one that really jumped. But now I'm looking at it. This MGM was actually an intermarket sweep, which is and that was actually that MGM was above. You know what? I'll talk a little bit about MGM in the next episode.
You talked about MGM the other day. I don't know why that popped up on our list the other day as well. So.
Yeah, no, we were looking at a bullish move in all the gambling stocks. They looked like money had started flowing into them. But anyways, I looked at the MU. This chip sector has been real beaten up. AMD's one that I watch a lot, and it looks like money's starting to flow back into them.
Yep.
So I just looked at some charts, some news, and that was the one that interested me the most. So I did a screen for MU bull call and bull put spreads, and dropped the same month of that the option was in there that traded, and there were a lot of options to go through and look at that had some nice downside cushion if the stock goes against you. Some good
we got
returns.
A question from Mike here. He's saying with the block trade, do you prefer to fade in, place same trade, or expect further move in the same direction? That's a little good question from Mike there.
That was a three-parter. Unfortunately, I don't see the questions, but I would. Did he say fade in?
Yeah. Do you prefer to fade in, place the same trade, or expect a further move in the same direction?
Well, like what I'm looking at is to try to do it as a spread. But
okay.
if you're looking to piggyback the trade, which some people would do, I'm looking to put on a spread that would benefit in the same movement as the option that's being purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at it as an indicator of bullishness. But if I was and that's why I spread. And obviously with the spread, you're locking in your upside and your downside. You know exactly what both are. But Mike's obviously a more experienced trader, and he's looking to take full advantage of what the person putting on the trade is doing.
Right.
And that would be going in and getting the same position put on and the same risk profile.
Right.
So, unfortunately, there's no black and white here. Typically, I try to get a better price, so I would be on the fade side. That being said, you do that, and you're gonna miss.
Right, you might miss. You miss 95% of them, right?
Well, I wouldn't say 95%, but you're gonna have ones you missed and kick yourself over.
Sure.
So I mean,
and there are people who go contrarian, right? They go to the opposite side, try to find the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, listen, anyone can find their own story. I think the person who put on that trade has to be nuts. But I would tend to say, and the reason I think this whole sector has found a bottom. Money's flown into it. Whoever's buying this has probably selected down between all the companies in that sector. This is the one they wanted. This is the one they wanted to put their money into.
Yep.
So I wouldn't, fading it's fine, piggybacking it's fine. Whatever you want to do to get the trade on, if you've made the decision that you want to, how much you want to lose if it doesn't work,
right.
And put
Absolutely.
it in. Also by piggyback, you're lost too. But the gain is that risk we talk about every morning in the disclaimer at the start. It's unlimited is the risk if someone sold that. So if you go and buy that, what's your upside? It's unlimited, right?
Yep.
That's so it's just I like to show people spreads just because it's a safer way to look at things at times. But I think if I wanted it, I would probably go and get it. Though I tend to fade it at times too and try to get a better price. So
there you go, man.
Take that as a coin flip.
There you go. There you go, Mike. I think. Well, I mean, it's a complicated answer. There's no simple stuff here. I think Mike gets that. So, Mike, I hope that helped you. And for everybody else here, remember, click the subscribe button and ting that bell, and you'll get us live every morning. And we're going to pop over onto Facebook right now. Will's got his super idea of the day over there.
I'll give it.
Oh, you just gave it. I gave it, man.
No,
yeah,
I did not give it. I screened for it. It's the bear side of the
he already gave
option
it.
block.
Don't bother joining us on Facebook, everybody.
No, please join us.
No worries. Either way, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Later.
Thanks, everybody.